This is solo P1. This is the Azerbaijan qualifying 2022. And let's face it. Come on, look, let's face it. If it wasn't going to be a Red Bull on pole, it would have been a Ferrari. If it wouldn't have been a Ferrari, it would have been a Red Bull. Either way, it doesn't matter. We knew it was going to be one of them. They make these new cars because they say the new cars are going to make everybody closer together. How's that worked out for you, you stupid geeks? What you've done with this stupid ass ground effect, you've made the cars worse. I know I am right. This ground effect system they've brought in for the cars, like I said, to make the cars be more close in the races, bullshit. Bullshit. It has not worked. It's just like last season. Just like the season before, you get two top teams, they battle it out, and the rest of them are behind. Very simple. Nothing has worked. This is why you don't see commentators on Sky Sports plug in the new regulations. When the season started, you had all of them lining up like little fucking lemmings, and they're all saying, oh, these new ground effects revolutionize the future of Formula One. Bullshit. No revolution. Nothing. What it boils down to, these new cars, these new regulations are utter garbage. Utter garbage. Now, you've got drivers coming out like George Russell, the lower teams, McLaren. A lot of them are being vocal on the news saying, we need to go back to the drawing board. We can't have this for the next 4 years. Lewis Hamilton's going to end up with concussion. Ricardo's going to end up with a broken back. You got Nicholas Latifi. He's got no brain cells left in his brain because of this porpoising in the car. That's what's happening. It's not working out for nobody. The only car that looks like it hasn't got porpoising is the Red Bull. Funny that, isn't it? It's funny how the Red Bull hasn't got no porpoising. It's funny how Red Bull's car has excelled and the others hasn't. The only ones that's going to hang with him was probably my favourites to win the championship are Ferrari. But the rest of the cars are nowhere. So where is this new regulations help the other cars? Explain this to me. Ground effect. Bullshit. Doesn't work. And now they're talking about the cost cap as well. The cost cap is not working either. Unsustainable. That's what they're saying. The cost cap is not working. Haas has basically nearly spent their cost cap. They've nearly spent their budget for the year. But what it boils down to, yeah, who didn't expect either Ferrari or Red Bull to be on the front? This ground effect was supposed to, oh yeah, we don't know, we might have a different winner every race. That's what this ground effect's going to do. It's not doing nothing. The ground effect is not doing nothing. This season, and to me, the only car that looks nice is the Williams and the Ferrari. The Mercedes car looks disgusting. To me, that's probably the worst looking car on the grid. I don't care. I don't care if you're a Mercedes fan. I am a racing fan. I'm a Mercedes fan. I like Charles Leclerc. But what it boils down to, the cars look ugly. All these ground effects, all this porpoising. What's all that about? The car's supposed to be better now. Oh yeah, I remember last season they were saying, oh yeah, wait until next season starts, it's going to be amazing. You might start seeing Haas battling with the Red Bull. You might start seeing AlphaTauri battling with the others, with Ferrari. What? Where's the battle? It's the same shit. Two teams at front, the rest behind. So nothing's changed. Not in my opinion. Nothing's changed. No. Lewis Hamilton. Look, he's not complaining. That's what the geeks are saying online. Saying that he's complaining, he's not complaining. He's suffering from headaches. He comes out and he says he's suffering from headaches. It's damaging his health. You got people online criticising Lewis Hamilton saying, he whines and whines and whines and whines. That's all he ever does. So Russell comes out and says it on national TV and says, look, these cars are wrong. We need to rethink this. We need to go back to the drawing board and start looking at the old way, the way we done last season. And what do you get online? The haters. You don't get the haters, not towards Russell, but towards Lewis. You don't hear no haters towards Russell when he starts complaining about the porpoising. But as soon as Hamilton mentions one thing about he's not really good for your health, what happens? You get the haters come on Twitter and start criticising Lewis. This is Twitter. The toxicity on Twitter is unreal. Unreal. It's one rule for him and one rule for them. Fake fans. And the majority of, let's face it, the majority of them are probably about 10 years of age. Yeah, 10 years of age. Probably started watching Formula 1 last year. They probably saw Drive to Survive. Right, and they said, yeah, we're going to watch Formula 1. They see Max Verstappen wins the fake championship, which he's not no champion in my book. Champion's Lewis Hamilton. And what they did then, I thought, yeah, we're going to go for that guy. We're going to go for that guy. We're going to go for Max Verstappen. And anybody who gets in Max Verstappen's way, they will hate. Especially Lewis Hamilton. And these people that hate him are probably from Britain themselves, but they're looking at Lewis Hamilton saying, nah, you're not British. We're going to go for Max Verstappen. They're the ones that do it. They're either 10 years of age or impotent 65 years of age, sitting on the mum's sofa. Still, at 65, Stroll was having problems in qualifying. He locked up. And, this was in Q1. He locked up and he was having problems with the car. He hit the side. Just touched it, just kissed the barrier. And then he went and they said to him, look, we need to bring the car into the garage. Bring the car into the garage. I'm going to have a look at it and to see that you broke anything on the front of the wing. Before he even got to the garage, he done a Roman Grosjean. He crashed into the same part where Roman Grosjean. All he had to do is drive the car back to the paddock, and they would have had a look at it in the garage. But what he must have put his foot on the throttle a bit too soon, a bit too fast. He kind of spinned and then smashed his car up, and that brought out the red flag, and that was in Q1. So Q1 showing a little excitement, but more delays. Because before the qualifying started, I think there was a half an hour delay because something to do with the F2 race before. So we were still waiting for the race to start, for the qualifying to start. I don't understand why they delayed it, because when the program started, everybody was ready to go out. There was no F2 cars, there was no debris, everything was cleaned up on the track. So I don't know why we had to wait half an hour for it to start. I'm just saying. So, Stroll, not happy, not really having the best of time, Lance Stroll. Vettel is getting hold of that car, very, very good now. Last couple of races, he's been getting up there and getting himself into Q3. You know what? I'm so proud of Sebastian Vettel, because a lot of the idiots what don't really know nothing about Formula 1, probably the newer fans, they don't know nothing about Vettel. They look at Vettel and think, nah, he's no good. They dismiss Vettel's 4-time world titles, and they look at all the younger guys and think, yeah, they're better. Clueless about Formula 1, got no knowledge, know nothing about Formula 1. But I am glad that Vettel's doing well, because he knows if he doesn't do well this season, there's going to be question marks against his name about his position at Aston Martin. And he's showing why he is a 4-time world champion. The champions always find a way. Always. A true champion always finds his way. And that's Vettel. Albon. Look, I'm not the biggest Albon fan. I'm not an Albon fan. Never have, never will. But Albon said something today in the race, in the qualifying, which I agreed. After the clear, towards the end of the qualifying, he was trying to get a lap in, and Alonso was in front of him, slowing the pack down. A bit like what he did in Monaco, not on the length of Monaco, but he was slowing the pack down behind him. Basically, he was going slow, and then he went into the runoff area, what caused the yellow flag to come out, so everybody behind him got slowed down with their laps. Albon was livid. He came out on the mic and he was saying, I cannot believe this guy. He needs to get penalised. He's slowing down on purpose. Now you know how Lewis Hamilton feels at Monaco. Same thing he done with Lewis Hamilton when Hamilton was going for his last lap at Monaco. He was locked up on purpose, went wide in my opinion, because look, Alonso's my favourite driver on the grid, but I will call him out. He locked up on purpose, and what happened is that compromised Lewis's lap. That was a little bit like Albon today. And Albon was saying he needs to get penalised. You know what? I agree with Albon. You see how it goes, you stupid geeks? I am fair. If someone's done something wrong, I don't care. If I like them, I don't care. If I like this driver, and everybody knows I love Alonso. Albon was right. He should get penalised, or at least a warning, a heavy warning. Now, towards the end, look, Russell was towing Hamilton come out. I think it was Q2. Hamilton come out, and Hamilton was towing Russell. Okay? Hamilton was towing Russell. Yeah, Q2, Hamilton was getting towed by Russell. So I'm thinking to myself, look, Russell's had the faster pace all weekend like he's had the majority of the season. I was thinking, don't you think that it should be the other way around? If Hamilton's struggling with his car, right, don't you think you should be the other way around? So Russell was told, Hamilton was towing Russell. Russell got a decent time. He was comfortably through to Q3, and then towards the end of Q2, Hamilton was saying, look, come on, I need a tow. I think he was referring to Russell because he told Russell, and he was probably thinking to himself, now, look, I want a tow now. So right at the end, Russell gave Lewis a tow. It was a decent tow. And when Hamilton got through to Q3, he still wasn't faster than Russell's time. He was just off it, but he was comfortably through. But what I'm saying is at the end of Q2, Norris had to do another lap because his lap previous before, he wasn't that good. He was kind of locked up. You could see he was struggling to try and get his lap out because of the yellow flag, and he only had a little bit of time left. You could see when he came back after the red flag, he was trying to get his lap out, but he kept locking up in certain parts of the track, and he couldn't get his lap out. So he went for another one, but it wasn't good enough. He was out of Q2, and which I was very shocked about in Lando Norris, because Lando Norris all weekend, even in practice, he was showing his speed. And Daniel Ricciardo. Now, Daniel Ricciardo, last 2 weeks ago when I was talking about Daniel Ricciardo, for me, his career's still on the line. You got his engineers, you got his team boss saying, look, we don't know, we'll see what happens. I still think his career's on the line with McLaren. They're not going to come out and say, look, if in the news and say, look, if Ricciardo doesn't step up, we're going to get rid of you. They're not going to come say, because that kind of like, what's his name, Zach Brown kind of referred to that a couple of weeks ago. But now they're kind of toning down the language. But they're probably doing that to try and get the heat off Daniel Ricciardo, because Daniel Ricciardo can relax onto his racing. But I still think that Daniel Ricciardo is in trouble. I still think if he doesn't start getting into Q2 or Q3, he's going to be gone by the end of the season. I don't care what they say to you on TV. I don't care what they're saying in front of the camera. What goes behind the camera, behind closed doors, is completely different. Daniel Ricciardo needs to start showing some pace in the next couple of races, because if he doesn't, they're going to start looking somewhere else. You're going to start seeing that driver market move around, and he won't be part of it. It can happen just like that. Look at Nico Hülkenberg. Who would ever think Nico Hülkenberg, right, would have been out of Formula 1 at a young age? Because I don't think the guy was even 30 before he lost his seat. And Daniel Ricciardo's over 30, and he ain't performed for about 2 years. So, both cameras was out, basically. They didn't get into Q3. For Lando, that was not good for Lando Norris. Lando Norris usually gets into Q2, even to Q3. Daniel Ricciardo, I'm not really surprised on the form he's been on. That's just the way it is. So the two McLarens out. Not a good day for McLaren. Now, Q3. Now, everybody was saying on the TV, all the commentators saying Paul di Resta, Kiru, the same old fucking Red Bull marks. They was all coming out and saying, oh yeah, Max is going to do it. Max is going to do it. I can see Max. Look at the pace of Perez. Not me. Never swayed me. I always knew that Charles Leclerc was going to win it. He was my pick from the beginning of the weekend. Ferrari have got the best car. Very simple. Ferrari's got the car where you can take, if you was a Formula 1 driver and you could pick any car on the grid to go to any circuit to win a race, it will be Ferrari. Ferrari's got the all-round package, a little bit what Mercedes had in 2020. The all-round package. Good everywhere you go. And that's what Ferrari's got now. And for me, Ferrari's still going to win this. And I always knew that it was going to be Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc got pole, not surprised at all. I thought Sainz would have helped him out and got into P2, P2, but he never got second on the grid. He kind of slipped up and messed up in a few sectors. I think it was the third sector. He went a bit wide, and that cost him his whole lap. He was trying to play catch up from there, weren't good enough. Second place was Perez. Perez was second, and third was Max Verstappen. And what really stood out for me, what was funny, 100% funny, I was laughing at the TV. Just before the end of Q3, you had the two Red Bull guys. The plan was for Red Bull is that Perez was going to come out first and Max Verstappen was going to come second, and Perez was going to tow Max Verstappen. And what happened is, you saw the engineers, they probably said to Perez, stay where you are. You're not towing nobody. Max went out first, and then the engineer come on the radio and says, oh no, it wasn't the engineer, it was the geek Max Verstappen, idiot Max Verstappen, inept, uneducated Max Verstappen. He come out and says, you know what? I thought Perez was supposed to be in front of me. That's basically saying Perez was supposed to tow him. But his engineers held him back, because you can see him there. They never let him go out. They said, well, stay where you are. And then Jonathan Idiot Wheatley, yeah, remember Jonathan Wheatley? That same guy that engineered the ending of the race last season. Remember Jonathan Wheatley? He come out and he was looking at the Perez garage, staring a hole straight through that garage. He looked angry, looked like smoke was going to come out of his ears, looking directly at Perez, and they said, what's going on, what's going on? And he says, there's a problem with the car. There was nothing wrong with the car. They was ready to go out, but there was no way they was going to give Max Verstappen at all. So as soon as Max Verstappen went out, then Perez went out. And I thought, yeah, that's good. If you want Perez to win the title, that's the way you're going to operate. Don't lay down for nobody. You do not bend over for nobody. And I want Perez to beat Max Verstappen. I'm not even a Red Bull fan. Everybody knows that. But I want Perez to beat him. I want Perez to beat him. I ain't qualified him again. How about that one? Perez, Perez, everybody thought, Perez is going to roll over for Max Verstappen. Perez is going to do this. I don't think so. Got his new contract now. I don't think it says on that contract that he bends over for Max Verstappen. I'm happy for Perez. I'm happy for Charles. Everybody knows that. He's my guy for this year. I want him to win the World Championship for this year. I know it ain't going to be Mercedes. People can say, look, Lewis Hamilton ain't going to win no championship this year. He ain't got the car to do it. The car's on rails. He started driving on ice. Car's rubbish. Get the car, take it out in the middle of a field, put a bomb in it and blow that fucker up. Because that car ain't going nowhere. That car's not winning no races, no nothing. Russell can't save it. Lewis can't save it. Bono can't save it. Nobody can save it. And Toto can grin as much as he likes. And what he knows, he can't save it. That's why every time you see Toto at a Formula 1 track, he's getting more worry lines and more grey hair. The dye's not going to save you, Toto. Let it go. So, this is Solo P1 signing out. Baku, qualifying. See you for the race tomorrow. Don't forget to watch me and listen to me on Spotify before I go. Solo P1, F1 reviews, Spotify, iTunes. Go and get me a like. Go and get me a sub. So if you don't want to listen to me on YouTube, you can listen to me in the car, at the gym, wherever you want. Spotify, iTunes, it's right there. After this video is going to be uploading straight away. So this is Solo P1 signing out. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.